Now we're going to jump into module 2, where we're going to focus on helping you understand this opportunity and what's in it for you. Because as IBOs, as independent business owners, you and I have a lot of incentives to promote this particular service. There's great points that can help you move through the compensation plan faster. You'll earn 3 points. Typically, when you acquire a customer that's over a certain amount, that's what most Anovia services are, refer to the compensation plan for the finer points there, but 3 points is a fast way to build through the compensation plan. There's also great residuals, and those residuals are lifetime. So as long as they maintain this service with Anovia, you will continue to get paid. There's no upgrades required like there may be, say, with a mobile handset contract. There's no end times to the contract like there might be with other services as well. It's something that will continue on indefinitely. And here's the cool thing as well, people don't typically change this service often. We spoke about this in the first module. It's something that people want to change, they want some help shopping around, that's what that study was in the last module, but it's a low churn industry, so you'll tend to maintain these customers. There's also no geographical limitations. This is a national opportunity, guys. There'll be areas where you can't provide our other services because of different footprints and different limitations, but you'll find even in the most remote areas you might know people or meet people, and you can discuss Anovia with them, even in the middle of nowhere. It's also a great foot in the door to discussing other services. You'll find about businesses, because naturally we're talking about businesses here. Businesses are the ones that have FBOS, and businesses tend to have bigger bills in the other categories as well. So it's a great opportunity to help them with those services and acquire bigger customers. It's also a good inroad to have a discussion with them about the business opportunity as well, because you'll find business owners are business minded. Business owners are open to multiple income streams, and this is a great inroad into that conversation. Now, there's a lot of IBOs out there, and I was one of these until a few months ago, and I studied myself and tried to figure out why myself and my team didn't have more Anovia customers. I found there was a lack of confidence in IBOs in how to convey the value. Because if you think about it for a second, I'm sure you had a mobile phone before ACN. I'm sure you had broadband and electricity before ACN, but you probably didn't have an FPOS terminal before ACN, because most people don't have that. The second thing is that most people aren't prepared with professional materials to convey that professional image. We're going up into an industry that is a professional industry. You need to go out there and put a professional foot forward. We're going to get you equipped in that as well. You also need to understand what we need to say and how to get to the right person to find the decision maker, and also understand that there's a process involved, and you play a very important part in that process to win that customer. The process of bringing an Anovia customer on board is completely different to every other service. Well, really, you and I as IBOs have an important role to play in that process, and I'm going to talk a bit more about that as we go through this training. So I hope that you are ready to deal with these challenges that have maybe held you back to this point and become professionals in this area, and to progress into becoming professional Anovia acquirers. The first thing I want to help you understand is that Anovia is a remarkable opportunity. When you look at the compensation plan, and when you look at the way these other industries are structured, whether it's mobile has certain plans. There's only a certain expectation for what people are willing to pay for those plans. Take energy. Energy is in partnership with Click Energy, and there's a relationship there that gives us a fixed revenue amount, so that's limited to a sense. NBN is fixed plans, same with ADSL. Security has fixed plans. You know what's different about Anovia out of all the others? All the other services have a cap to what you can earn from one particular service. There's remarkable unlimited opportunity to be unlocked. We're going to work through that together now. Now, I believe it's the #1 residual income opportunity right here in the Pacific with ACN. Services come in all shapes and sizes, and what I want to do is give you a little bit of understanding of how the pricing works in very general terms, and also help you understand how the income breaks down to the level that you get paid on. There's 4 components if we break down these bills, and you'll see this represented to an extent in the quotes that you get sent in. There's an image there on your screen of those quotes, an example of those quotes, and you'll see this as you see merchant bills out there. Merchant bills tend to have a figure for terminal rental. So that's the first part. We don't get paid on terminal rental. It's a hardware cost where they rent that terminal. There's going to be revenue called a merchant service fee, and that is comprised of things like the interchange and card scheme fees, and then there's Anovia revenue. So what I want you to take away from this slide, it's not that we get paid a percentage off the entire bill. There's multiple parts that are not commissionable, and there's also great fluctuations that can happen. Just to give you a little bit more information about that, different industries have higher or lower interchange and scheme fees, and also individual transactions can have higher or lower card scheme fees. An everyday run-of-the-mill MasterCard or Visa card may have lower interchange fees, and then a rewards card that earns points and flights and things like that will have much higher interchange fees, and there's less profit in that for Anovia and therefore for you and I. So you don't need to be too worried about this, because Anovia takes care of all the technical aspects behind the scenes, but it's not kind of as clear as you might think until you delve into this, but there's great revenue to be had. So we get paid a percentage on this number 4, and the percentage that you earn will be as per the compensation plan. So obviously, as I've said a few times, and it's so important that you master the compensation plan document, refer to the compensation plan, and you want to do what's required, get your 75 points so that you can unlock the 10% residual income. Anything less than that and you're leaving money on the table. Let's give you a quick example here now, and examples can differ. You'll find no two of your customers are exactly the same. Here's 2 cafes, roughly the same turnover. Now, we don't get paid on the turnover of the business, we get paid on the fees. So the business will put through, in both these examples, let's say $100,000 roughly, and on the example on the left hand side, roughly about the same example of the fees, but what you'll find is the one on the left hand side has higher interchange and card scheme fees, and the one on the left is on the right is a little bit lower. So the amount that you can earn can be different. Also, you can go and find bigger and bigger businesses. There are a lot of businesses doing a lot more than this particular example, and as you become more professional, you're able to spot the opportunities out there. So the left-hand example there, you can see that out of the $1,000 in fees, there's actually only $180 a month in Anovia revenue, and you earn 10%, presuming that you have your 75 points, which we all should, to unlock that $18 in revenue there to you. Now, if you compare that to how much you earn from the other services, that is still very good residual income, because you earn that every single month. You're going to earn that for many, many years perhaps. But look at the example on the right-hand side. A business there that has a higher level of Anovia revenue, and you're earning a higher level of commissions on that. So what I want to give you now is an example that works upon that example of that right-hand side one. With this training, you're going to be able to go out there and find businesses that are above average. What a bit of extra information I'd like to give you is that the average merchant fee bill in Australia is a little over $400. So what I'm telling you there is that some businesses, 50% of the market, are going to be less than that, but 50% of the market are going to be higher than that. Now, as we go out there and acquire Anovia customers, you'll find the majority of Anovia customers are worth 3 points. We already spoke about that. So here's a question for you. How many Anovia customers would you need to acquire 75 points at 3 points each? The answer is obviously 25. Now, you may already have many points of other services. I'm talking about going out there and getting 75 more Anovia points on top of whatever you already have. Now, that example we just went through on the previous slide that showed how you could have $400 of billing volume from the right customers out there by going for the right businesses. What if you had 25 of those? If you had 25 customers, which is not a large number of customers, that had $400 of billing volume, that's going to result in you having $10,000 in billing volume. And if you've got the 75 points to unlock the 10%, that will be $1,000 per month of residual income to you for acquiring those customers. So there's a remarkable amount of life-changing residual income if you really understand how to go out there and find the right customers for Anovia. Let's talk about how this fits into the senior levels of the compensation plan, because I believe that you have what it takes to achieve regional vice president and then move all the way through to senior vice president. What I want to give you is a game plan to use Anovia to move to those senior positions. Now, you would possibly know that regional vice president, according to the compensation plan, requires 4 team coordinator legs. Now, Platinum Regional Vice President, which is a designation underneath that position, requires the same 4 team coordinator legs. There's the same amount of actual team structure required. There's only one difference. The difference in earning the Platinum Regional Vice President designation means that you've actually acquired $300,000 in monthly billing volume. So here's the thing, the only difference between Regional Vice President and achieving the Platinum Regional Vice President status is the effect that your training and helping people in customer acquisition is having. So if you help people to master what we're talking about here and master customer acquisition, the same team can bring in more customers. Now, what will happen for you if you achieve that designation there, when you're a Platinum Regional Vice President, it opens up 3% residual income below your 7th level, which doubles that residual income below your 7th level. So you can do the calculations based on what that could unlock for you. It is remarkable. If you had $300,000 in billing volume underneath your 7th level, that could be insane. Now, let's break this right back now. If you've got IBOs in your team that have just got an average service mix of small customers and 75 points worth of those, that would typically be about $2,000 a month in billing volume, which is still good. That's going to create a few $100s in residual income each month, and it can grow obviously beyond that. But what if you took the time to help your team become proficient? Now, step one in that is you need to become proficient yourself. You cannot expect your team to do something that you haven't yet done yourself. You've got to lead by example. So you become proficient, you help your team become proficient, you provide the support structure to do this together. What if you helped IBOs in your team create $10,000 worth of personal billing volume by getting out there and getting, say, 25 of those Anovia customers that we just gave on those last few slides? That's going to help you achieve that designation of Platinum Regional Vice President far quicker. If you break it down, it would only need a much smaller percentage of about 1/5 of the amount required compared to if you had IBOs with the $2,000 compared to the $10,000. I want to inspire you to go beyond regular Regional Vice President and aim to hit that designation of Platinum Regional Vice President. If you help people win in your team, you can have everything that you want to have. So what I want to help you understand now is that you have an incredible opportunity, and I know what you've seen now hopefully gives you more understanding of this incredible value that we have. I'm excited to help you continue to develop your training now over the next few modules and get into the how-to steps, and let's get to that shortly.